So I'm currently at the University of Stirling in Scotland. I study sports psychology and I am going into my third year of my studies. What inspired me to volunteer K4L is because I've known about K4L for a long time, since I was a young girl, and I used to play football too. And my brother used to come to K4L to play football, but I had never really interacted with anybody from K4L, but I knew that it was something that was there. And before I came home for my holidays, I was thinking about what I wanted to spend my time doing instead of just sitting at home. And my parents suggested that I come to K4L, and I thought that was a good idea because it would help me and expose me to a kind of sport environment, which is what I want to do when I complete my studies. Honestly, there was nothing out of the at the beginning that drew me to sports psychology, but I always knew that I wanted to do a career in sports. And at first I was very interested in sports management. And in grade 11, I did a job shadowing for a week at what used to be Super Sport United. And I was able to see the behind the scenes of the management and the running of a team. But then I realized that there's so many more opportunities in sport. And so that's when I began my research and I found sports psychology. And I had never heard of it before. So I was like, okay, if I've never heard of it, I think it'll be an interesting one to study, and so that I can hopefully bring awareness to it. My highlight of working at K4L has been the sessions with the players, the group sessions, and particularly the one-on-one sessions, because then I got to know people personally. And even though it was such a short time, I still was able to get to know people, and that was my favorite part because I don't want to be here just as, an extra person or just somebody who comes and goes. I want to be able to be part of the club and get to know the players personally. And I really enjoyed getting to know every one of them, even though my time was short. Yes. With tailoring the group sessions, one-on-one sessions, it was just about getting to my session, and for the first 5-10 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes, getting to know the player as a person before I asked them about their sport. And I was interested in who they are as a person, what drives them, what their goals are. And from them opening up in that 15 minutes, and then I was able to kind of direct and guide the questions to where I wanted to go, and especially with mental fitness and mental resilience, and just not being too imposing at the beginning, because I didn't want them to feel scared or uncomfortable, and just gently guiding them into the session. What stood out to me among the athletes was, first of all, their commitment to football, their commitment to K4L, and also their commitment to their studies, because education is really so important. And if you don't make it far with football, you always have education to fall back onto. And a common theme that I realized among them was that most of them really struggle with feeling self-confident and confident. And so I was just able to try to help them with some tools that would equip them to gain their confidence and try to direct them to a to a headspace of confidence, because I realized that most of them really struggle with confidence when it comes to their performance. Yes, I definitely did gain some experience, especially because this was the first time doing anything like this before. So it just opened my eyes to what a career in sports psychology would look like, and especially with one-on-one sessions, how counseling would look like, and to sit with an athlete and to get to know them and to help them to become the best version of themselves, and to help them to become mentally fit. And I think the experience that I could take away from this is just, being able to interact with people, which is something that I learned because I wasn't really strong at interacting with people. But now it opened that up so that I can put myself out there. Mental fitness is important because in environments like academies where there's high pressure, you're dealing with expectations from coaches, from your tutors, from teachers, family, and you're trying to balance sport and academics. I would say mental fitness is important because it equips you with tools like focus and concentration to help you deal with the stress in a healthy way, and not to deal with it in an unhealthy way. And from my experience with dealing with academics and sport, it's also about asking for help. There's always somebody there to help you, whether it's your coaches or your teachers, and ask for help early, because if you let it go on and your stress is building up, you're going to burn out. So it's important to ask for help because there's so many expectations on you. And I would say that also just, it's all about enjoying it and not putting too much pressure on yourself, because of course we all have goals and we have big goals, but managing those goals and those expectations will help you to succeed. While I was here, what was very meaningful to me was once again speaking to individual athletes, because in that time they were able to open up to me, which was very touching because, they don't know me that well and I don't know them that well. So them opening up to me and me being able to see and hear their problems, it just opened up my eyes and my world, because I'm not very exposed to certain kinds of problems. And when I was able to sit down with the athletes, I was able to hear these problems, hear their struggles, but also be inspired because they were able to stay committed and they are able to continue to show up each day. Yes, definitely, because my career is just getting started, and when I graduate and when I have, more knowledge than I have now, I would like to come back and share that with K4L and share that with the athletes here. And I think it's so important because right now I have seen a gap that there is, lack of knowledge about sports psychology and what it is and how to deal with mental battles. So I would like to come back and just further educate and strengthen the athletes and coaches here at K4L. As I said, education is so important. And honestly, I play basketball, but I'm at university for my education first. And my priority is towards my education. And so with balancing football and academics and school, I would say it's just about realizing how important education is. And also, if you really, really love sport, you can, study sport. There's so many career pathways that you can study within sport, and you can still remain as close to sport as possible without even playing. But I would just say that really stick to education as close as possible as you can, because as I said, if you don't go far in football, then you always have education to fall back on, to empower yourself as a woman, and to empower yourself, because your voice matters. Your voice and your expertise and your knowledge, it matters, and it can be used as a tool of development to lead the country forward, and just yourself as a person. And for self-development, it can help you to go forward and far in life if you don't make it far in football. I would like to say that, first of all, I've been very inspired by their commitment and all their commitment, and for them for showing up. And I would encourage them to keep on committing to what they love, which is football, but also to their education. And I would also encourage them to keep working hard, because things don't come easy, and you have to work for what you want, and things won't fall for you on a silver platter. So just commit yourself, work hard, and continue to show up.